Good afternoon, everyone. We're just going to give it a moment to let the waiting room clear. Please make sure you are muted as you enter. All right, and we are going to get started. Good afternoon. This is a hearing before the Boston Cannabis Board, the BCB. Today is January 21st, 2026. Today's hearing is being conducted pursuant to temporary amendments to the open meeting law. This is what allows us to meet virtually. This hearing is being recorded and will be posted to the City of Boston's website. Before I review some procedural matters, I will introduce Chairwoman Kathleen Joyce.
Thank you, Jasmine. Good afternoon. My name is Kathleen Joyce. I'm Chair of the Boston Cannabis Board. Today, I'm pleased to be joined by Commissioner John Smith, Commissioner Ramon Soto, and Commissioner Jack Kenslaw.
Thank you, Chairwoman Joyce. My name is Jasmine Nguyen, and I'm the Cannabis Board Manager. We are also joined by Luke Santos, who is our Cannabis Licensing Specialist. I will begin by calling each item in the order they appear on the agenda. We have two amendments to already approved licenses and two new license applications. A quick housekeeping matter, item number 4, I'm Mad LLC, will be rescheduled to a later date. Each amendment application will have 5 minutes to present to the BCB, and the new license applications will have 10 minutes, followed by questions and comments from the board members. We will then take public testimony, beginning with elected officials or their representatives, followed by the general public. If you wish to testify, please sign up via the link that will be put in the chat. If you already signed up, you do not have to do it again. Additionally, you may use the chat function to request to testify as well. Please wait until the matter in which you would like to speak about is called. Do not use the chat function to give testimony. It will not be considered. When giving testimony, please provide your full name, address, affiliation, if any. Testimony will be limited to 2 minutes, at which time you will be muted. Additional testimony may be submitted in writing to cannabisboard@boston.gov. The record will be kept open until Monday, January 26th at 5 p.m. The BCB does not give any more weight to spoken testimony than it does written testimony. The first item we have, the licensee is Underground Legacy Social Club, LLC, doing business as Underground Legacy. The license premise is 1379 Blue Hill Ave in Mattapan. The license type is a marijuana retail license, and they are requesting an amendment to the operating hours. The current hours are 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Sunday. They're proposing the hours of 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week. Who is present on behalf of the licensee?
Isaac Hampton on behalf of Underground Legacy.
All right, Isaac, you have 5 minutes. You may begin.
Thank you, Jasmine. Madam Chairwoman and esteemed commissioners of the Boston Cannabis Board, thank you for allowing me to present today. As stated, my name is Isaac Hampton. I'm the owner of Underground Legacy, doing business as Underground Legacy. We are located at 1379 Blue Hill Ave in Mattapan. I am here today to seek an amendment to Underground Legacy's hours of operations, which currently are Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., Sundays, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. The proposed hours are Monday through Sunday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. Underground Legacy commenced operations on April 6th of 2024. Since then, we have conducted business without incident, contributing to the social, economic, and cultural fabric of the community. As the first and only operational dispensary in Mattapan, we take very seriously our responsibility to be good stewards of the industry. This is why I'm asking to amend our current hours today. The following 4 points encapsulate our justification for the proposed change of hours. Point number 1. Many of the community members we serve and work in the service industry, where traditional 9 to 5 hours do not exist. Patrons of our establishments often find it difficult to get to us with our limited hours. The proposed change to our hours will allow for equal access to our establishment, ensuring that our blue and pink collar patrons are able to visit us just as easily as our white collar patrons. In the same vein, the current limited hour structure has resulted in a deluge of shoppers between the hours of 8 to 9 p.m. On our busier days, we will sometimes see as much as 20% of the day's revenue during this hour. The flow of traffic on and off the property during the last hour can sometimes be challenging. This is the reason why we are proposing elongating these hours so that we can mitigate this challenge. Our second reason being, we currently sit at 13 employees, 6 full-time, 7 part-time. We'd like to expand that. The change in hours will allow us to add 3 to 5 more roles to our roster, 2 of which will be for full-time. Our third reason being our current staff members have been the biggest proponents of this change and have been asking for it for some time. If we are allowed to change our hours, we'll be able to offer more opportunities for increase in pay as well as responsibilities. And then the final reason is we need to change our hours in order to remain competitive. And a change in our hours will allow us to mirror the hours of other dispensaries in neighborhoods bordering Mattapan. In order to remain consistent with other businesses in Boston, we are looking to change our hours. And that's it. So I yield my time to the board's questions.
Thank you. We'll now move to questions, comments from the board members, beginning with Chairwoman Joyce.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us. So you were before us in 2024, is that correct initially?
Yes, that's correct.
So we received a letter from on behalf of the West Selden Street and Vicinity Neighborhood Association. They couldn't join us today, and they are describing that your hours were a specific part of the conversation last time around when you were going for your initial approval. There was a lot of debate in the community, was concerned about the proximity to schools, libraries, and teen centers, and were in particular concerned about hours beyond what you have right now for those reasons. So can you tell me a little bit about the conversations you've had with this particular group or the neighbors about this request for an extension of hours?
So as of right now, we had an abutters meeting on December 1st, Monday, December 1st, and there were no objections to our proposed change of hours.
How many people attended that?
I believe there was just one attendant, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
At the time that we went through, the initial process of trying to get our license, we did have conversations with individuals about the hours of operations. I do recall those conversations, but circumstances have changed. As I said, we in order to kind of remain competitive with the market changing and other individuals coming on in the pipeline to come on and open up dispensaries, we're requesting a change in the hours.
Have you gone back and talked to any of these people that were concerned about your hours the first time around?
We've not had an opportunity to do that yet. Certainly welcome those conversations. We're not really pressed. We don't have a specific timeline for this
Okay.
change of hours, so we're not. If it pleases the board, happy to table this so that we can have further conversations with some of these concerned constituents, and then put this back on at a later date.
That would be my preference. Again, we're not voting on it today, but I do think we have to take into consideration commitments you made to the community the first time around. And only one person attended the abutters meeting. That's not really a real full community process.
Mm-hmm.
And they were very specific about the fact that your hours were discussed before them last time and that they raised concerns then. So that's where I stand right now. But I will see if Commissioner Smith has any comments.
Thank you, Chairwoman. Same thing. When I read it, I thought I was going to ask, have you met with them and spoken to them?
Mm-hmm.
You guys have any kind of follow-up conversation? So I think that would be important before we move forward.
Commissioner Kinsley, do you have any questions, comments?
I mean, I'll start off by saying I just appreciate the level of input you've gotten from your own employees. That's usually a big thing that I work for. I want to make sure that no workers within the location are being forced to completely change their schedule around without having the ability to have input into it. I mean, kind of along the lines of what the other commissioners have said, have you gotten any other feedback from like customers or immediate neighbors that are supporting your efforts to stay open later?
Absolutely. Our customers are all for it. They welcome the extended hours. As a matter of fact, some of them wanted us to open up even earlier, which just wasn't feasible for us at this time, but full support from the customers and a lot of the community as well. We do a lot of outreach stuff in the community, have been since we opened, and they were in support of our extending our hours. So.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think I definitely agree with the fellow commissioners saying that just making sure that we follow the process all the way through and engage those conversations ahead of time is really important. And then, especially since that was, I think, one of the only pieces of direct correspondence the board got around this, even just like encouraging some of the people that you've had those conversations with to attend some of those meetings or send some of that correspondence to the boards that we can get the full picture of the support and the opposition to this matter. But that's all I really have. Thank you. Thanks, Jasmine.
Commissioner Soto? No.
Thank you, Jasmine. So I did want to echo the comments of the other commissioners, and also ask Mr. Hampton if you've had an opportunity to also speak with your local elected officials as well to advise them of this potential change.
I have not.
Okay, so yeah, no, so I think I think that would also be an essential step in that it would evoke a different dynamic and environment in those hours, or where more cars will be coming in and out, more foot traffic, right? All the kinds of things that concerned neighbors might say, "Hey, what's going on there?" Right? And then they call their city councilor, right? And then they call you. So I think if we can get out ahead of that, certainly that would be would want to do that. Also, you mentioned at the beginning that you've been open since, or that you've been operating continuously without incident. I don't want to question that, but as far as like, have you had any concerns or any questions, whether it be I'm not saying necessarily legally, but from trash concerns or anything that might have been, and I'm not saying anything official from the city, but just as far as any concerns that have come up in the time of your operation?
None that have been brought to my attention.
Okay, and that's great. So I think that that's important also to factor into to notate. And I would encourage you, as you talk about some of the things that you're doing out in the community, certainly strongly encourage you to kind of catalog that for those conversations that you will have about this change, because a lot of times I know we hear it from this venue, this public venue, but I know that there are a lot of good things happening out there, and sometimes it's helpful to see it on a page. And so if you're doing the good work out there, I think it would be essential to demonstrate that in some visual way, as well as the number of people that you have working. I think that's also incredibly helpful. And certainly if they're from the community, I think folks in the neighborhood would want to know that, right? So I just think it seems like there's a pretty path here, but communication's key. That's all I got, Jasmine. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Soto. I just want to acknowledge we've been joined by Commissioner Gandhi, but I think she just logged on. So we will move to, well, do any other commissioners have any additional questions, comments? No? All right. We'll move to public testimony, beginning with elected officials or their representatives.
Good afternoon, Madam Chairwoman and members or Commissioner Siggy Johnson with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This applicant has completed an abutters meeting that was properly noticed on December 1st, 2025, at which no constituents chose to speak and no concerns were raised. However, the applicant has not met with the Greater Mattapan Neighborhood Council, which is an umbrella organization of various civic associations in this area. We would request that the board defer their rendering a decision on this matter until the applicant has had time to meet with GMNC and discuss the agreement that was made with that organization when this license was first approved. And with that background, we defer further judgment to the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Siggy. Is there anyone else that would like to provide testimony on this matter?
Sorry, just a point of information, Jasmine.
Mm-hmm.
Did Greater Mattapan, did GMNC weigh in on the initial application?
Well, that's a great question. Let me see if I can pull that up.
We just linked the last hearings folder to this hearings folder if it's helpful to other commissioners.
No, I don't see that they submitted anything for their last application. No.
Okay. I'm just yeah, because I do appreciate their role in the community. I also want to make sure that we're being faithful to the original commitments made and to whom they're made with. I would just hate to set a precedent where a new neighborhood council emerges and then all of a sudden becomes the decider of an agreement that they were not party to. So I just want to flag that real quick for folks. Something to consider. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Is there anyone else that would like to provide testimony? All right, seeing no one, the board will take this matter under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners.
The next matter we have, the licensee is Castle Leaf LLC, doing business as Castle Leaf. The license premise is 100 Birmingham Parkway in Brighton. The license type is a marijuana retailer and product manufacturer license. The request is to amend their operating hours. The current hours are 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Saturday and 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Sunday. The proposed hours of operation are 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Saturday and 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Sunday. Who is present on behalf of the licensee?
Uh, Good afternoon, Attorney Scott Rubin on behalf of Castle Leaf LLC. I have my principal with me, Suzanne Katchtran, is also on this call or this virtual meeting as well. She's the principal owner currently at this time.
Thank you. You have 5 minutes. You may begin.
Great. Thank you very much. Again, appreciate the opportunity to present this application uh, to the board. This business began operation back in December of 2023. And my clients who currently are in possession and operating this business have done so as of September of 2025. So my group that I represent acquired the whole interest of Castle Leaf in September of 2025 and spent quite a significant amount of money to attempt to revive this really what was essentially a failing cannabis business. So my clients feel strongly that in this particular business in this community, and since they've had their opportunity to sort of get into their side of the operations, which has essentially been 4 to 5 months, they've also found very similar to a lot of these applications. I've been on these meetings in the past, and I know that a lot of cannabis businesses are coming forward. Seems to be a fairly routine request to come in and ask for amended hours, and so it's sort of an ongoing struggle with not only with this board, their ability to sort of serve customers, deliver the kind of to increase sales and to try to survive in this business. So the business, quite frankly, again, as I mentioned, was sort of a failing business, and so we picked up and put the investment in, and hope to be able to spread out our hours in order to serve more customers who are obviously are demanding that of us. Otherwise, we wouldn't request it. My understanding is, although I don't have that information offhand, I believe we did have a neighborhood meeting. Um, I think, Suzanne, I can't remember the date that you had the neighborhood meeting with the local association, but I think Dan Daly was his name, had mentioned to me at our virtual meeting that the hours that we're asking for, which is only one additional hour for each day, we're not asking for expanded hours in the morning. We're only asking for one additional hour for each day of operation. He had mentioned that it was the same, essentially, these are the same hours that were originally requested, but the business chose not to open during these extended hours. I couldn't find any information about that, but I'm just passing that on. If he happens to be on the meeting, I don't know if that was information that could be located. But
Yeah, I'm
my
trying to
client,
locate it.
what's that?
I'm trying to locate the date. Actually, I forgot what was the date.
Yeah, we did have a
Uh,
neighborhood. There was a neighborhood association. Susanna attended
correct.
that meeting.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll have it. We did do, the local meeting on December 15th as well. I don't believe nobody attended. The neighborhood association did attend that meeting as well, which I'm sure the mayor's representative will be happy to would chime in on that. This is an important request. Again, we're centrally located in the Boston Landing neighborhood, which I'm sure the commissioners are aware. This is where Ice Warrior Arena is, the Celtics practice facility is. There's several $100 million that were invested in this particular neighborhood. We're right on the other side of that particular location. We serve a pretty vibrant and diverse community. Our customers are asking for this. Our employees are in support of it. I think, Susanna, we have eight. Right, as of last time you provided me with that information, we had eight employees, six of which are local residents, and Susanna's really, as a woman-owned business, is really trying to, put this investment that was made into this business and really make it work. So we're really hopeful that, we can remain competitive in this market and ask that the commission approve this request.
Scott, sorry to interrupt. So we met the group December 15.
Okay. Well, that was the neighborhood meeting.
Yes.
Okay. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. And I'm just looking back at you guys' original host community agreement, which was in 2021. It's the
Okay.
same hours. I don't know if you
Yeah,
guys.
okay. I wasn't sure because
Yeah.
Dan had mentioned that. That's why I said I couldn't locate what the original hours were. It wasn't on any paperwork that I had, but that was what he mentioned. So I'll have to
Okay.
defer to him. Maybe it's wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, no, if you
According to
find
the
something else, then let me know. But your
Okay.
host community agreement says the 10.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, with that, Chair Joyce, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I just want to confirm. So your host community agreement dates back to 2021?
That would have been the one originally done with the prior group that owned the business.
Okay, so when did you sign your host community agreement?
I believe so we took over the membership of their LLC. So there was no, I guess there was an update that was done in order to incorporate, I think
You guys
um,
did, sorry if I can interject, just some clarity. They did a change of ownership back in July 16, 2025. So they did that process.
correct. Yeah, I don't think we had to get a separate host agreement because we just took over their equity
So
holdings.
back when you did this change of ownership, did you have a community meeting then to discuss your hours of operation?
I don't believe there was any community meeting related to that, and our hours hadn't changed at that time.
Did you have a
may I say
meeting
something?
about the change of ownership?
I don't think so.
Do they have to have one, Jasmine?
No, because the name was the same. It was the same. They just did a reorg. Like it's still Castle Leaf LLC. They didn't change
Okay.
any of that.
So just for background, I've said this on other hearings before. I don't see these requests for changes of hours as a simple, it might be one page for you to fill out, but to me, I think that these could have great repercussions to the neighborhood. You're only asking for 1 hour a day, but we just heard from another application that was
Mhm.
asking for several more hours a day. So you've been open for 4 to 5 months?
Yes,
To me,
we
that seems like a
started.
very short period of time to come back and ask for a change of hours. However, given the fact your host community agreement dates back to 2021, there's some balance there that I can find. I do find the graphs that you shared about your sales very, very persuasive and helpful, about when when your sales are peaking and stuff. But I guess I'm just saying this to the general public listening. We are really buttoning up these requests for change of hours. We are getting inundated with them. That doesn't mean we're not going to hear them, but I have made a decision that I will not be even entertaining applications for these change of hours unless it meets certain requirements in the future. One of them would have been being open or operating, but then we kind of negotiated the fact that you guys had your host community agreement for 2021, haven't had a chance to be open. But my concern is making sure the community is in support of the change of hours, that the impacts in the community are not negative, and that it's not just a matter of making more money. This does seem like a good location to me for something like this. You've demonstrated that your sales are in a certain way, but I do, for everyone listening, I take these very seriously and look at them very closely. It might be a one-page request to change, but to me, I put a lot of thought into them. So And they take up a lot of our time on our agendas in the last year. So those are my thoughts. We'll see, if the other commissioners have any comments or questions. And that's it.
Commissioner Smith?
Thank you, Jasmine. So you didn't re-engage community around this at all?
We did have a neighborhood meeting through the association, and we had what was set up by we had the virtual meeting that was required as well.
And in general, what was the feeling?
Neighborhood association supported it, I guess with the caveat that no neighbors had raised any objections, and I'm not aware there were any objections raised. So I guess that's take it for what it's worth. There has been no real community. We didn't get any kind of feedback that there was any issue with the request. Let's put it that way, Commissioner.
Great. And the graphs that you sent are from the last 5 months that you've been open?
The first graph was December 1st, I believe, Susanna, and that's a
Yes.
Monday. The
Just
second,
days. Okay.
I'm sorry,
Tracking certain days?
that's
Yeah.
a specific
Well-
day was December 1st, which I guess is a Monday, and December 6th, which is a Saturday. And you can certainly see on the Monday, which I think is representative, is that we have a peak. I think even as the last gentleman who spoke, that we get these peaks at the end of the day, even during the week, because people have less time to come to the store because they're busy working most places, most times. And so we have a peak coming towards the end of the night. People are rushing to get their supplies before the end. Saturday is a little more spread out over the day because more people are home, and we can spread out the hours a little bit more. But then again, it's typically the weekend, Friday, Saturday, people are out later and they want to, a lot of times these products are for weekend use as well. And so they want to get their supplies, later in the evening as well. So, thank you.
Thank you, Jasmine.
Commissioner Kinsler?
Thank you, Jasmine. So you mentioned that you have 8 employees currently and that they're in favor of this for the most part. What are the impacts on the staffing that you envision would come from this? Would you be able to hire more people? Would people's current hours just be extended but with the same number of employees?
We are actually interviewing some people right now, and we are going to hire one out of the group. So once the hours are extended, then we will definitely need more help.
If
Currently, we have 5 full-time employees and 3 part-time, and we are hiring one more full-time.
So you're hiring one more regardless, and then how many, if the hours extension were to be approved, how many additional staff do you think you'd be able to hire?
Probably we would do like 1 or 2 in the beginning and then see how it goes. And if we need more help, then we'll hire more.
Okay. And then I know you have the small lot that's like on site there. What sort of impacts on traffic in the area do you think would happen from the additional hour? Is it typically like the lot's filled up and you have to use street parking around those times?
No,
or?
we usually we have also like in the back like a side street where people go and park. It's actually our delivery section where we get the trucks coming in and delivering products. But usually we don't get that many cars at the same time. It's just one group comes, leaves, and then the second group comes. So I never seen any traffic disturbances, and I'm usually there most of the time. And the parking lot is not that small. I
We have
think
15.
like 15 cars.
Yeah.
And we usually try to serve customers quick so they can be in and out, so there is no, they are not stuck in the store for a long time.
Okay. And then I noticed on the like sales graphs you provided, it has the tips thing that says $0. Do you guys not accept tips at your location?
Well, if the customers want to leave, then yeah, of course, but we don't mandate them to leave tips.
Okay.
If they want to leave tips, then yeah, we have jars that they can put in a jar.
But it's just tracked separately from this sales graph?
Usually it's not connected to Dutchie. That's
Okay.
Dutchy, that shows the sales, but it's not, tips
Yeah.
are not connected to Dutchy, no.
Okay. Those are all my questions. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner Gandhi. Do you have any questions?
Yes, hi. Thanks so much. My question is, you mentioned the business that was previously there failed. So can you give me some more insight into why it failed? The reasoning for my question is, yes, you've got an operation that you're considering, but can you give me some more insight into what specifically led that business to not do well in that area?
Well, you're asking us to do a forensic audit on the prior ownership. I mean, the prior ownership is the one that ran the business, and there's any number of reasons why these businesses don't do well, whether it's they had a collection of owners, operators that I think they were somewhat dysfunctional. I didn't really want to air too much of this in a public setting, but I think they had some struggles internally as to how to run the shop and who was really in charge. And so I don't think it
Right.
was, I don't think it was specific to, it's just common issues that any business would have. It's not specific to cannabis specifically, that they just didn't have, I guess, a great collection
Okay.
of owner operators to be able to, it's very difficult. It's a very expensive location. Obviously, the city has high rents, and so there's a very short window that you can really hit the ground running and make money and be able to be very nimble, be able to serve your customers and buy the product at the right price and be able to capture a market. And once you start to slip behind that, it's kind of like it's very difficult to catch up unless you keep putting more and more money into these businesses. And at some point, I think the business owners, decide that they just don't want to keep funding operations after a while.
I know I appreciate all of that. I don't mean to air anyone's, laundry here, but I just think, you did mention that an additional hour operation or change of hours operation would help the business do better than it previously did. So I just want to make sure that I'm following up on that line of thought as well.
Sure.
No other questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Soto.
No questions.
All right, with that, we'll move to public testimony, beginning with elected officials or their representatives.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, Siggy Johnson with the Office of Neighborhood Services. This applicant has completed the community process. Our office initially hosted an abutters meeting regarding this application on July 15th, 2024. That application was apparently abandoned. We hosted a follow-up abutters meeting on December 15th of 2025, at which no concerns were raised. The applicants met with the Brighton Alston Improvement Association, which is in support of this application. And with that background, our office defers judgment to the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Siggy. Is there anyone else that would like to provide testimony on this matter? All right, seeing no one, the board will take this matter under advisement.
Great. Thank you, Jasmine.
Thank you, Jasmine.
You're welcome. All right, now we will move to our new license applications. The first matter we have, the applicant is in Jaga LLC. The proposed license premise is 1102A Blue Hill Ave in Dorchester. They're applying for a marijuana retailer license. The proposed hours of operation are 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week. This is the equity applicant. They filed the application on June 18th, 2025. They filed with Inspectional Services on March 15th, 2019, and they held their community meeting on September 25th, 2025. Before we hear the presentation, I will ask Akila Armstrong, who is the Cannabis Equity Program Manager, to read the equity certification into the record.
Thank you, Jasmine, and good afternoon, everyone. Our office was able to certify Njaga LLC as an equity applicant through the documentation submitted by the applicant, Cleon Byron. Mr. Byron is the president and CEO, as well as the 51% beneficial interest holder of Njaga LLC, meeting the 51% ownership interest threshold set forth in the ordinance. Mr. Byron meets the following criteria. 1, a person who has resided in Boston for at least the past 7 years. Mr. Byron submitted a proof of residency certificate from the City of Boston's Elections Department establishing Boston residency from 2011 to 2019. Additionally, Mr. Byron submitted his renewed driver's license establishing residency in Boston from 2022 to present day. 2, a person who is of Black, African American, Hispanic, Latino, Asian, or Indigenous descent. Mr. Byron self-identifies as Black and has provided his valid driver's license. 3, a person who has been certified by the Cannabis Control Commission as an economic empowerment applicant or is a participant in the Cannabis Control Commission Social Equity Program and is a resident of Boston for at least one of the last 3 years. Mr. Byron submitted proof of participation in the CCC's Social Equity Program and has been an approved applicant since March of 2020. He also provided his renewed driver's license as proof of residency for at least one of the last 3 years. Are there any questions about this certification?
No, thanks.
Thank you, Akila.
Thank you.
Who is present on behalf of the licensee?
Hello, hi, everyone. Cleon Byron here.
I'm also here as your principal consultant.
Okay, you guys have 10 minutes. You may begin.
Is it okay if I share my screen?
Yeah, it's already being shared. We can see it.
I have
Or
the
someone
presentation up,
sharing.
Cleon, if you want to.
Yes, could you please share, please?
Yeah, I got it. It's up. First slide. Just tell me when you want to go to the next slide.
Okay. Go to the next slide. Okay. I'm sorry, Ezra. That's not the right one. I'm so sorry.
Oh, well then I will stop sharing and you can share the one you have.
Thank you.
What do you need, Cleon?
I just resent it to you, Ezra. Just reopen it for me, please.
You got it.
Sorry.
Thank you for your patience on that. Nothing yet, Cleon.
I have it if you guys want me
Yeah,
to.
could you please? Thank you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, 1 second. Let me just. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, just let me know when to go for it.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I'm so sorry for this. My name is Cleon Byron. I'm a Boston native, first generation American from Caribbean descent. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 27 years old, a networker, a small business supporter whose goal is to bring about greater social equity in Boston and beyond. I'm a former member of Boston Farm CLT, currently a member of BECMA, and the Builders of Color Coalition and the Urban League of Massachusetts. As a local activist in Dorchester and Roxbury neighborhoods, I focus on uplifting residents, supporting small businesses, creating opportunities for underserved communities. I also host a radio show called What's Up Boston, which is on WRBB 104.9, where I highlight local talent, uh, local local talent, discuss pressing community issues, and amplify Boston voices. In addition, I'm in the process of opening 1102 Community Event Space, a hub for community gathering, adult and youth programs, and cultural events. Community work is the way of life for me and my family. My family also helped launch the annual Caribbean Carnival, which started in 1971, and a tradition that is still led by friends and family till today. I also host and support local community events like the Roxbury uh, Hood Festival, alongside other cultural community gatherings and bring people together. My unique strength is my use of my wide social network to boost local businesses, support community causes, host events, and connect people for prosperity. With my big laugh and generous spirit, I strive to embody the essence of a Bostonian while working every day to strengthen the community I serve. Next, please. Njaga's purpose is to strengthen our community. Local owned minority businesses, the beautification of the location and the block that we're on, promoting social justice by teaching classes, hopefully in 1102 Blue for the community, and promote diversity and hiring locally. Having community events and positive neighborhood engagements. Next, please. Njaga is committed to DEI, employment, and positive impact. As you know of today, DEI is on attack, but we are committed to the goal to exceed Boston diversity demographics. 2, we are going to have sign-on bonuses for neighborhood residents who are within walking distance. And 3, prioritize contractor diversity. Last, biannual multicultural events, honoring employees, having DEI, and neighborhood events. Next, please. Njaga plans on employing from 10 to 20 people. These are some of the jobs that we intend to have. We're starting off with a bud tender, which will be from $17 to $19, depending on experience. Front desk person, which will be $17 to $19, depending on experience. Inventory specialist, which will be $17 to $21, depending on experience. A compliance officer, which we would want to have experience, so we were doing anything from 50 to 70K annually. We will have shift leaders there. They will have the option to be annually or hourly, which will be $20 to $24 hourly and 42 to 50K annually. Assistant managers will be, depending on experience, will be from 50K to 65K, and general managers will be 70K to 100K, depending on experience as well. The reason why we have the security guard with hourly and annually, because hourly we might have subcontract security service, but if we have in-house security, they will be paid $18 to $20 per hour. We also have a marketing coordinator. Hopefully we'll have experience where we'll be anywhere from 45 to 60K annually, and a community outreach and a corporate social responsibility manager as well, which will be paid from 55 to 75K annually. And we are hoping to employ 10 to 20 people at this location. Next, please. Community feedback. The last couple of years, we've got numerous letters of support. We've gotten a letter of support of State Representative China Tyler, a letter of non-opposition from Brian Worrell, And we've talked to Greater Mattapan, we talked to Lucerne Gardens, we talked to the Harvard and Harvard Street associations as well. And we're willing to talk to many more associations in the area as well. But we did get support from the Black Network Association and also Blue Hill Ave Association as well. Next, please. Our proposed retail location will be at 1102A Blue Hill Avenue in Dorchester. Our supposed space will be around 2,000 square feet. We live in a dense, diverse neighborhood. If you know Dorchester, we have pretty much every nationality that you can think of. We're 0.8 miles from the next dispensary, and we're 0.5 miles from any school or any social services in the area. And we're asking or requesting our store hours be from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Next slide, please. Where we're located has ample public transportation. We have the Mattapan station, which is located in Mattapan. And from the Mattapan station, we have these local lines, which is the 16, the 22, the 28, the 14, and the 29. And the last time we had asked about blue bikes, we actually have blue bikes literally directly across the street from the location as we speak, available now. We are ADA accessible because we are on the first floor. Next slide, please. Traffic and parking. First advantage, dispensary hours are after morning northbound incoming peak hours of traffic. Advantage 2, 20% of the dispensary hours are after most shops are closed, allowing curbside parking without disruption to neighboring shops. Advantage 3, we have 15 on-site parking spaces with ample parking around the area, and 100 feet behind the building is our parking. Advantage 4, we have ample public transportation and housing nearby to incentivize employees and customers to walk. Next slide, please. Our success as a cannabis dispensary is a direct reflection of our commitment to the surrounding community, and this is our security and community safety. Rigorous employee training on diversion, crime watch, and de-escalation. We will have a custom community stewardship agreement, which customers will come in and sign, and this will say, I will agree with which one I'm going to zero tolerance of nuisance, littering, and public disruption. And the last, direct communication and contacts with all neighborhood businesses to Enjaga so we can have a good connection with the community and the businesses in the area. Next slide, please. All right, our security policy, prevent theft and unauthorized access, protect employees, consumers, and the public, security systems redundancy with battery backup, inspected and tested every 30 days, 24-hour monitored alarms, and internal and external camera surveillance with 100-day storage. Training on intruder, scams, fake ID, and emergency procedures. Product security. All marijuana will be stored and locked, safe and vaults when not in use. Inventory will be kept out of public view. Disposal will follow state regulations using collecting and rendering waste using the SOPs. Emergency procedures in place of theft, diversion, and disaster. And access and control. Entry will be limited to 21 plus adults with verified ID. Limited access areas restricted to essential personnel only, clearly signed and logged. All employees wear visible ID badges. Visitors must be escorted, wear a badge, and be logged in and out. Packaging and labeling. All consumer-facing products will use child-resistant packaging and plain packaging. No bright colors or cartoon imagery. All products labeled with warning marks per CCC regulations. Next slide, please.
Cleon, you are at your 10 minutes, so if you want to briefly go through your last few slides. Oops, sorry.
Okay, can I just go to the closing statements if you don't mind?
Sure.
Oh, sorry. Go to that one.
Go back.
Since it's not on, no, it's not on there, but I will say it verbally if you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. In my closing statements, I would just want to say my community lives vicariously through me. Where I come from, failure is common, and not because people lack talent or work ethic, because opportunity is often out of reach. I've seen too many people become statistics, and I refuse to become one of them. If I fail, it doesn't just affect me, it affects the families, the young people, the future entrepreneurs who are watching to see someone who looks like them truly make it through this process. My family and the people in my community are also my investors. They believed in me. They put their trust, their time, their hard-earned money into my vision, and I carry that responsibility with me every single day. I want to make sure that they win too. I'm a father, I'm an uncle, I'm a son, I'm a godfather, and young people look to me not to just succeed, but to show them what's possible. The responsibility is what keeps me going. The responsibility is why I stay committed, why I follow this process, and why I'm standing here today. And Jaga is not just here for a license. And Jaga is here to build jobs, stability, and opportunity in our community that it deserves. And Jaga needs to win, not just for me, but for the community that it serves. Thank you.
Thank you, Cleon. We will begin with questions and comments from the board members, beginning with Chairwoman Joyce.
Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
My questions were around whether or not there was a buffer zone or how close you were to the school, but you did explain that. I'm going to wait and see if I have any questions after all the other commissioners.
Thank you.
Commissioner Kinsley, do you have any questions?
Yeah. So I appreciate the breakdown of the like the wage rates for the employees you intend to have. I mean, I'm assuming like, general manager, marketing coordinator, stuff like that. It would just be one person, but how many bud tenders, front desk specialists, and inventory specialists, shift leads, security guards do you envision having for each of those positions?
Well, for right now, with the bud tenders, they'll probably be the most. So I'm gonna say 4 bud tenders at this time, and a lot of the bud tenders at this time might be doing dual positions. So at this time, I think each position, one with the 2 general managers, because it's going to be time changing. Uh, probably 2 of each.
Okay. And then you mentioned the 1102 Blue community space that you were working on, which I'm assuming is like in the same unit or right next door to this one based on the address.
Yes.
And you mentioned you envisioned that as a space for youth programs. I think, could you tell us a little bit more about that? Because I think if there's a location right next to the dispensary focused on youth programs, that might be a cause for concern.
Right. Well, I'm going to say this is more of like a function hall area where there's going to be like a lot of job training, and we always envision having cannabis training there as well. It's not going to be like a youth center or anything like that, but sometimes we do want to be able to have the teens be educated, but we will just support 1102 Blue, but will not have anything to do with the cannabis thing. We're just going to support the efforts.
Okay, so it's more of like a function hall with maybe some like job training events, but not like specific youth programming.
Exactly.
Okay. And then could you talk a little bit more about just like the transit options in the area? I guess there's like a couple bus lines that go through. How are those like frequent, reliable bus
Yeah,
lines? Do you think
right
a lot of
now
people
the
would?
buses that go from Mattapan to Dudley Station are free, and also we have Forest Hills to Ashmont. Where we're at is a very busy cross section of Morton and Blue Hill Ave. So there's actually a lot of buses that go there because of people going from Mattapan to downtown for jobs. So the 28 runs all the time. The 28 runs the time. The 22 is like very busy. And we have actually 3 bus stops located around us. We have 2 on the right and on the left side, and 1 actually directly across the street from us.
Okay. And then you mentioned you want to kind of make a special emphasis on the having employees from the area and the sign-on bonus for neighborhood residents. What are your plans to try to like advertise those job positions within the community?
Fortunately, I actually have a business in that area already, and a lot of our customers workplaces, and we have talked to them, and they're actually really great workers. And because we're in the community, like our business in there, we know a lot of the local people inside the area, and they come to us. I don't know. I talked about this last time. My family owns a daycare center, and a lot of family or parents come there looking for jobs or who are really good people, and we would like to hire some of the people in that community as well.
Okay. That's all I got. Thank you. Thank you, Jasmine.
Thank you. Commissioner Gandhi, do you have any questions?
Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you so much for the really thorough presentation. I actually don't have any questions right now, but I'm also going to be here to listen to what my fellow clinical say. Thanks so much again for your very thorough presentation and for your dedication to the community.
Thank you.
Commissioner Smith?
Thank you, Jasmine. Mr. Byron. How many of your employees are going to be part-time?
As of right now, we'll probably, if we have 10, it would probably be 3 part-time people and 7 full-time.
So you were projecting 10 to 20, right? But you're thinking 10 and 3 are part-time.
Yes.
What are the other benefits you're providing?
We will definitely be providing healthcare and dental. And like you say, if you live close to the facility, we will provide rides and also bonuses. So, could help you get home and back from work. So you can use Lyft or something for safety.
What's close? Milton? Where would you consider close?
I'm gonna say about 500 square feet around the area from where we're at. So 0.5 miles away, circular around. Or no, I'll say a mile and a half. Sorry.
And you're thinking most of your employees are going to come from that location?
Yes.
Who are you advertising with? How are you recruiting them?
As I said, I worked on the radio station as well. I do social media very well. I also, because we do employ people in other services that come to me for jobs all the time, that those are the people that I've been advertising. And I can also use the Banner or Dorchester Reporter as well. I have a good relationship with them as well to publicly put it out there so people will know as well.
Bus stops are right around there. How are you thinking about if people are buying product and then going outside towards the bus stop and using and still not in your vicinity?
That's the reason why I'm going to have the stewardship program, is because I'm going to make sure that they don't do that. I think one of the things I'm going to make sure that my security emphasizes that, and that's the reason why we're doing the stewardship. If we find you doing anything illegal around that area, you cannot come to the store. You will be disconnected. Your ID will be canceled because we owe that to the community. So I will make sure, even if I have to go across the street to be like, hey, you can't do this over there, I will, to enforce that.
How many security officers do you have?
I'm going to do 2 security officers.
For the whole building?
Well, per day, have 2 securities on duty per day at a time while working hours.
9 to 9, 2 every day.
Yeah, yes.
And they're monitoring inside and outside.
Inside and outside. I have one that can monitor the front, can just check the IDs, and another one who can actually walk around and check the parking area and make sure that everything's okay.
Okay. Are you in contact with the police station that's right there?
I have talked to officer. They just got a new captain. I talked to the old captain, but they just got a new captain. I haven't talked to him as yet, but I've asked Russell Holmes to introduce me to him recently. I just had a call with him 4 days ago, and I asked him for him to introduce me to him personally.
Okay. 2 more questions. You have a CSR manager, which you said is a corporate social responsibility. Do you have some sort of plan for the community that you're working on? Community benefits plan? I don't see anything written about that.
Thank you for that. But I don't have it written up, but I do have us reinvesting in community. The community that we're around is actually, we have a really older elderly community, and I've personally helped fix drains, clean their apartments. So we're definitely going to do a wide ways of a community engagement. And they also have a community farm over there where I actually bring soil and help a lot of the elderly bring things. So you
have
You also hold events, Leon. You hold many events there for the community, as you always have year after year.
Sorry about that. So you have relationship with, and also sort of formalizing ways to help the elderly community and the gardens and all of that?
One of the reasons why I wanted the community event space is to be able to have a place where I can organize it a little bit better, and a place we can group up and be like, hey, what do we need to get done? How do we get it done? And sometimes I got to, and you got to train people how to get things done because they don't know. So it's a place where I can actually use all my resources. I can train you, show you what you need to do, bring resources all in one place so we can take care of that area.
Which is the function hall where you have the carnival events.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes the kiddies there too. Okay. I know. The mock-up of your retail space that you gave us looks very casual.
Yes.
With the balloons and can you explain a little bit more? It looks like I could just walk in and grab. Your mock-up looks very casual.
Well, because designs change with architectural plans, and we're kind of on a limited budget, to be honest. I will send you a more mocked up, updated version.
Yeah,
so
can you
you
get more in terms of the retail space? Usually we get a kind of clearer view of the retail space and how it functions, but this just looks like 2 ropes with balloons and somebody standing there.
It was just more of a face picture thing. I totally understand what you mean, and I will provide more of that information if you give me a chance in the next couple of days, so you can have it and take a better look at what it would look like.
That would be fantastic. Thank you, sir.
You, Commissioner Soto?
Thank you, Jasmine. I have you had community meeting? I know you said you had spoken with the abutters, but have you had a formal community meeting? What was the response there? And in addition to the one that is required, what other meetings have you held, or feedback have you received?
Um, I've held probably, I'll say, 6 community meetings in that area over the last 2 to 3 years. I've gotten really good feedback. Everybody's excited because they want to see something done with that building because it has not been in great condition over the years. And they're excited about something new and something where they could kind of just see beautification of the area. Um, I haven't got, I haven't, I've really got positive impact from I've talked to Greater Mattapan, from Woodrow, from Lucerne Gardens, which are all like surrounding that location. And they're just more kind of like, are you really going to do something? Are you going to do something? But I've gotten really good feedback, and they're just anxious to see something happen.
Okay, thank you. And then in regards to the, I want to commend you for the target goal of 100% Boston residents. I think I really appreciate that, and I think that shows the evidence of your passion for the community. Um, I want to just touch on to Commissioner Smith's point. I think there is a lot of power and opportunity that rests just within your own network, but also making sure that you allow for a process to play out where you can then kind of gather even more applicants in order to make the best selection for your business. I think is important as well, and also opening that opportunity up to additional folks from Boston who may be a great fit, who might be in 2 blocks from you but have no idea that it's in the process. So I do encourage you to look at those vehicles to market the positions as well. And the other question I has, speaking of someone who might be 2 blocks from you, how would you, to again back to the point that Councilor Smith raises, like, how do you measure the walkability factor? Because I think it's a very innovative and strong benefit concept to incentivize that. So I just, if you could talk a little bit more about that specifically.
We would make some deals and actually make some discounts where you get 5 or 10% off. And the more you come and you walk there, I don't know, sometimes you've seen in some place where they give cards, and they clip the cards for patrons or consumers who come in often, and that be a way. And then also too, because we have a lot of retail locations inside that area, we'll probably get we want to get gift cards and stuff from them local, like Nick's Pizza, Ollie's Roti, these places where they can get a gift card from us and it'd be like a couple percentage off, and also helping them go to those locations and hopefully uh, make them purchase things while they're there as well.
Okay, that's helpful. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions, comments from the board members?
Not at this time for me.
All right. We will move to public testimony, beginning with elected officials or their representatives.
Madam Chair and Commissioner, Siggy Johnson with the Office of Neighborhood Services. This applicant has completed the community process. Our office hosted an abutters meeting on September 25th, 2025. There were positive comments at the meeting regarding job creation. There were also comments made at earlier meetings that had concerns related to the suitability of the location and the general condition of the properties, but there were also supporters present at those meetings. The applicant has met with the Greater Mattapan Neighborhood Council. Our office understands they have not chosen to weigh in formally, but the applicant has been in a dialogue with them. And with that background, our office defers judgment to the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Siggy. Is there anyone else that would like to provide testimony?
Yes, I am here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Can you just state your name and address? And if you
Hello,
have
my name is Gerald Dorothy Shaw, 26 Hildreth Street in Dorchester. Um, I work personally with Mr. Cleon Byron, and he didn't have a chance to give you a scope of what we do, but I also co-host the What's Up Boston radio show. It's been on the air in the city of Boston for over 25 years. Mr. Cleon is someone that I hold in high regard because everything this man does is geared towards our community. We work hand in hand to have community empowerment events. We hosted one in October called Unity in the Community at Roxbury Heritage Park. We gave our guests a tour of Roxbury Heritage Park because a lot of people don't know how pivotal Roxbury was in the Revolutionary War. Also at Union Community, I work with a lot of nonprofits personally. We had a biotech program there. We had a engineering program there. We had people who are doing food drives. Lastly, to close out the year, we also did a celebration of Kwanzaa Koombah Day of Feasting event, which me, Cleon, and our brothers at What's Up Boston also worked towards. I'm going to be quick with you, but he didn't have a chance to really give you the scope that he is ingrained in this community. But when he says his community is living vicariously through him, we are, because we want to see Njaga opened. I grew up in Mattapan, and Jogga's right down the street from where I grew up. And when I was growing up, we had K's. We had a lot of black owned hair shops. We had barber shops. That strip of Mattapan and Blue Hill Ave is on its dying legs. So I am gonna issue a challenge to you, the Cannabis Commission, because this man has been on this journey for 4 years now. This is the third time he has presented to you guys. I'm going to issue a challenge to you to help us to get Njaga started so we can revitalize not only that strip of Blue Hill Ave, but Mattapan and Dorchester itself, and to also create jobs and opportunities for the members of our community, because that is what Cleon has dedicated his life to. Okay? So,
Thank you. That's your 2 minutes.
okay, am I at my 2 minutes?
Yes.
Okay, I would like to close with that, with a challenge to you guys to get Njaga opened up.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to provide testimony?
Yes, peace and blessings to the commission. My name is Charles B. Green III. I've been on this journey with Charles B. Green III, residents of Roxbury Street of Clifford Street. I've been on this journey with Cleon, not from the beginning, but since the beginning, not from the very. I've been at all his meetings in support of. I don't need to go back because Mr. Gerald spoke how he is embedded inside the community and committed to his community. So me being one of the founders of Fathers in Need, he is actually an active member inside. He hosted a couple of father events at 1102, and he donated the space because we are an organization that we provide resources, and he opened his doors as a resource, and he encourages us to do more at 1102 when it finally gets back up and running. And you don't have that type of commitment nowadays to the community that's authentic. And this brother here is authentic when he's talking about, providing jobs inside the community, providing education inside the community, providing different resources. He's there. I happen also to be a co-host on What's Up Boston, so you can see that his community is there in support of him. And I hope that this time around, third time's a charm. Let's make it happen for Mr. Byron and the wonderful things that he's hoping to bring to the Blue Hill Ave area and community. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to provide testimony? All right, seeing no one, the board will take this matter under advisement. Thank you. All right. Again, item number four on the agenda, I'm Mad LLC will be rescheduled to a later date. If anyone joined late, I said that at the beginning as well. The last matter we have, the applicant is New Growth LLC. The proposed license premise is 100 to 104 Business Street, number 5, also known as 161 Reservation Road in Hyde Park. The license type is a marijuana delivery operator license. The proposed hours of operation are 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. 7 days a week. This is an equity applicant. They filed their application on March 5th, 2025. They filed with Inspectional Services on January 26th, 2025, and they held their community meeting on October 23rd, 2025. There is a buffer zone conflict with another marijuana establishment. Before we hear the presentation, I will ask Akila to read the equity certification into the record.
Thank you, Jasmine. Good afternoon again. Our office was able to certify New Growth LLC as an equity applicant through the documentation submitted by the applicant Caleb Mathias. Mr. Mathias is CFO and 51% beneficial interest holder of New Growth LLC, meeting the 51% ownership interest threshold set forth in the ordinance. Mr. Mathias meets the following criteria. 1, a person who has resided in an area of disproportionate impact as defined by the Cannabis Control Commission, or the CCC, for at least 5 of the last 10 years. Mr. Mathias submitted bank statements establishing residency in Randolph from 2018 to 2023, and the city of Randolph has been designated as an area of disproportionate impact per CCC guidelines. Number 2, a person who is of Black, African American, Hispanic, Latino, Asian, or Indigenous descent. Mr. Mathias self-identifies as African American and has provided a valid driver's license. Number 3, a person whose annual household income is or below 100% of the area median income for their city or town. Mr. Mathias resides in Randolph and has provided his offer letter and a summary of his 2025 payment history. His household size is 1, and his annual household income is at or below 100% of the area median income for the town of Randolph. Are there any questions about this certification?
Thank you, Akila.
Thank you.
Who is present on behalf of the applicant?
Hello, Quinn Heath here on behalf of New Growth LLC, along with the owners, Caleb Mathis and Mo Taha.
Okay, you can share your screen. You will have 10 minutes.
Got it. Is the screen share working?
I see it says screen sharing, but it's blank. I don't see the presentation.
Let me try one more time. I'm not sure. It says I'm sharing, but I'm not. Can I send it to you,
Yes.
Caleb or Jasmine?
Yep. Do I have the latest presentation?
You do. That would be super helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, let me just pull it up. Can everyone see that?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Just let me know when to move forward.
Great. All right. Thank you to the board for the opportunity to present on behalf of New Growth LLC, who's excited to propose an independently owned and owner-operated social equity delivery operator in the Hyde Park neighborhood. I'm here this afternoon with Mo Taha and Caleb Mathis, who are the 2 joint proposed owners of the business. My name's Quinn Heath. I'm an attorney who's helping with this application and representing them for purposes of today. But I'd like to note that they've been super actively involved in doing their own community outreach and have had several meetings with the community up to this point. I look forward to letting them introduce themselves, but first I'm just going to go through a couple of quick visuals so the board and the public can understand the project and the scope that we're talking about. On the screen right now, you'll see a photo of the entrance to the proposed facility. This is a single unit within a shared lot. So past this gate, which would be closed after 6 p.m. each day, there are several units and closed garages. New Growth LLC would be renting one of those garages and several parking spots within that enclosed space. This is going to be a delivery operator license. That means that product would be stored on site, packed into delivery vans, and then delivered directly to consumers. However, there wouldn't be any direct retail or consumer access to this facility. It would only be open to those who are working for the business as delivery agents or on site as security and monitoring the GPS and route management. As you can see, this is the single entrance to the lot. All the vehicles would go in and out through this entrance, and this is located off of Reservation Road. If you could take us to the next slide. Thank you. So as you can see on this slide, the location better. This is located near Ritchie's in Hyde Park. It's also located across the Reservation Road Park from the Fellowship Christian Church. And as I showed the picture here, you can see the entrance off of Reservation Road. That is the driveway that goes into this site. I want to pause just to note two buffer zone conflicts that were raised through the application process and respond to those. So first of all, the Fellowship Christian Church, as I mentioned, contains both a daycare and a school. New Growth LLC is seeking a variance and exception from the school and daycare buffer zone requirements on the basis that the Reservation Road Park consists of two impassable barriers, including the river feature there and the train tracks. We have a surveyed site plan that shows that the pedestrian walking distance between the two sites is a minimum of 800 feet. Further, and responding to, there's two potential marijuana establishments that have an approval that could consist of a buffer zone conflict under the board's regulations. Those consist of the Bean Collective LLC, which previously applied for and received a host community agreement at this precise location for a delivery operator establishment. It's our understanding that this establishment has now been leased to my client, who's going to be moving forward there. But in any event, these would both be small delivery-only operations out of this lot that can support multiple businesses. The other potential buffer zone conflict is with Suite 420 Wellness LLC, which I understand to be approximately 2,270 feet to the northeast. That holds a retailer and delivery operator approval, to my understanding. Regardless of those buffer zone conflicts, this is going to be a small business that's going to be actually run. The vans are going to be run by its owners to begin. We feel this serves a very different market as it's a delivery only operator. It's not an add-on to a retail license. And we feel that the impacts on the community, in contrast to the number of licenses that Boston is required to approve, will be a net benefit. We can move to the next slide. So I'd like to introduce the New Growth team now. New Growth's owned by Caleb Mathis, who has a 51% stake in the business, and Mo Taha, who owns 49% of the company. I'll give them just a minute to introduce themselves.
Yes, thank you for having us. My name is Caleb Mathis. I'm the 51% owner of New Growth LLC. I've been a social equity applicant in Massachusetts since 2020. Also been a social equity applicant in the state of Maryland since 2024. I'm a co-owner in a medical cannabis company in Alabama called Jasper Development. I've had a numerous amount of experience in cannabis and cannabis licensing. Also working with consulting groups on, different type of licenses. So I'm very familiar with this process and also in cannabis.
And did Mo want to introduce himself?
Yes, hello. I'm Mo Taha, and I'm a Boston resident. I've been in Boston since 1988. I'm currently around a car service, but I've started Watertown Taxi in 2002, and that's a strictly community service, except for profit. I was involved a lot with the Watertown uh, Council for Aging, involved with them with gift certificates as far as their birthday parties for the elderly. I've hired mostly Watertown drivers and Waltham. So basically, I would do the same thing in Hyde Park. I would only hire people from the community since it's a delivery business, so they'll be more knowledgeable in the area and will give them opportunities to work and have more opportunities. I have handled liquor licenses and tobacco licenses, more than one or two, and luckily never a violations. I do comply. Again, the cab drivers they always need to be uh, not inspected, but to be licensed by the police station. So I've done a lot of business with the police station on a regular basis. I am familiar with licenses, so I'll be good, running that business in that way. And as far as the community, I'm a huge part. I always work with the community in mind. And thank you for your time.
Thank you. We could go to the next slide, please. All right, so as I described previously, this is an ideal location for a delivery operator license. It will not have any impact on street parking and has a dedicated driveway for entrance and exit of delivery vehicles. The site can be fully closed and secured overall at night, although cannabis products will be stored within a locked garage that is inspected for security, that I'll talk about on a further slide. View of the facility is also relatively discreet, which is a positive, although there is the church and the school and daycare across the park. The natural resources, fencing, trees block any view from the outside of the establishment.
So I'm sorry not to interrupt you, but I don't see anything in your memo or anywhere else in your materials except for a sentence or two about the school. Could you just share the name of the school?
Yes, it's my
I can look it up on a map.
Yeah, it's my understanding it's associated with and contained in the Fellowship Christian Church. I'm
It's the
blanking on the name.
Boston Renaissance School.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I want to be able to pay attention, but I didn't see enough. And we'll need a survey for that.
Yes, it's my understanding they're located in the same building and we can provide the survey. And if it's not sufficient, we're happy to supplement with further information. So yes, and then the daycare is definitely associated with the church. It's registered as a licensed daycare, but it's located within that building, is my understanding. We can go on to the next slide. Thank you. So the scope of this project is intended to be small but scalable. Mo and Caleb intend to be active participants and employees from day one, and they'll be participating in most of the initial deliveries themselves, actually operating the vans or working in the business from the day to day. They'll have 2 to 3 delivery vans when they begin operations, each of which will need at least one agent to staff it. And then they will also plan to have at least one additional employee during business hours who's on site, who's managing the delivery routes and watching the security of the site, managing and just observing, just being there as an additional resource. They're going to, as they grow, they'll buy additional vans. This is a social equity business that qualifies for state grant funds. So once they're able to build out, they'll be able to park more vans within that parking area. They'll be able to negotiate for more parking outside of the locked garage with their landlord as they grow. But that garage gives them plenty of space to have a secured storage location and to pull in and load delivery vans. We can move to the next slide. So New Growth is going to employ state-of-the-art security at this site. It's going to be monitored by a dedicated employee during all working hours. The site's going to be refit with perimeter alarms, cameras, duress alarms, and other security features that are standard for cannabis operators. In addition, as a delivery operator, there's specific requirements that they'll be following in order to ensure that there's safe and secure deliveries at all times. Those include body cameras, secure lock boxes that are for cannabis and cash separately in the vehicles, cameras within the vehicles and dash cam footage, a GPS system that assigns routes randomly so they can't be predicted by bad actors, and the ability to monitor the location of any vehicles from a fixed site. These delivery agents are going to be trained on how to operate deliveries in a secure manner, including procedures on what to do on how to during a mechanical incident or a breakdown, and how to check consumer ID. All consumer IDs are going to be checked twice, once before the delivery is made using online verification, and then again at the site of delivery. We can move to the next slide, please. New Growth is also dedicated to preventing diversion to minors. No deliveries are going to take place without that identification of ID, and every product is going to be tracked seed to sale. So if there is any diversion, that product can be tracked immediately to the source. Can we move to the next slide, please? So I'd just like to note, again, this is an independently owned business with a small team. They're planning on building slowly their employment base. That said, New Growth intends to hire at least 75% of its employees as Boston residents, with a specific focus on the neighborhood of Hyde Park. Hyde Park is accessible to employees by public transit through both the commuter rail and I believe the 32 bus, which connects the location to Jamaica Plain. Those are both located within a half mile, and the bus stop is within 10 minutes.
You are at your 10 minutes if you want to just.
Yeah, I've got 2 sentences and I can answer any questions. Thank you. New Growth plans to post job postings on the Cannabis Control Commission's Equity Works job board to promote diverse hiring, and they will be building out diverse hiring goals as they build their size of their team. They'll also be hosting annual workshops on criminal record expungement and sealing for those with criminal records relating to cannabis. Finally, New Growth intends to track the Boston living wage of $18.78 an hour as a starting point for its delivery drivers. And with that, I think the final slide is just to turn to questions. Thank you. And thank you for the technical assistance again.
That's okay. We will start with questions, comments from the board members, beginning with Chairwoman Joyce.
Yeah, my concerns and questions are around the school. I guess I'll reserve those questions and comments until I get more information from you guys on that.
We'll certainly submit as much information as we can on the school and the distance and visuals.
Yeah.
Commissioner Kinsley?
Yeah, could you go into your hiring plan a little bit more? So you said that you plan on hiring 1 agent per delivery van. Is that just like with the idea because the 2 co-owners will be operating the first 2 that you'll hire 1 additional per van?
So right now, and Mo or Caleb, feel free to weigh in, but we've asked for hours of operation that are relatively expansive at 8 a.m. to 11 p.m., but I don't believe that'll actually be at the beginning. I think they'll be targeting the delivery hours depending on what the market looks like and when deliveries are going to be most marketable. I think that early on, they'll be hiring a few part-time employees in order to fill out the schedule and meet the requirements. And then as they grow, the plan would be to have a team of around 7 to 9 at the maximum. And that would be after they have around 6 to 8 delivery vans on site. As far as hiring, they're going to be posting there's an equity job board specifically to promote hiring in areas that have been disproportionately impacted by the war on drugs and to promote diverse hiring. They'll also be using local newspapers in order to post jobs. And really to start, they're not planning on hiring a ton of people. It'll just be a small team of about 3 for the first few weeks.
And I think also, according to our community meetings, some of the individuals or the residents in the community also had concerns about too many vans going through the business street uh, location. So we're thinking about hiring small at first because of that reason and working with the community. And it really just depends on how our, delivery amount of deliveries we get and how we can more look to hire. And we look to hire more into the community because we look to better the community and, prosper within the community as a business.
Okay, but your plan is to keep it as just one driver per vehicle at all times?
Right now, yes.
And then,
Well, except from when we go into our location, we're gonna need people to load the vans, and there needs to be a security personnel to look over the location while people are out doing deliveries.
so how many people would you envision are working like inside the facility, packing orders and getting ready to stock the van at any given time?
So there probably is going to be 2 people. There's going to be 2 vans, so there's going to be 2 people, 1 person for each van, 2 people in the facility, and then 1 security personnel. So at the beginning, we're looking at like 5 people.
So you just have like 2 people on staff total who are working inside the facility, but you might not have both of them
No, no, no.
working the same shift at any given time. Or you'd have 5
Well,
people on the clock at any given
yeah,
time.
5 people on the clock at any given time.
Okay.
So 2 people in, and then 1 security personnel.
And then what would you imagine the like part-time, full-time split of your total employee base would be?
Um, Probably half and half
Okay.
for the beginning, depending on, and then we can look for more depending on how many orders that we get.
Okay. And then so you're starting them at 18.78 an hour and following the Boston Living Wage ordinance. What other benefits are you planning to provide?
Um, Really, transportation to the facility. I know the commuter rail is right, probably half a block from our location, and also the MBTA is right down the street from our same amount of distance in the square. So commuter rail passes, bus passes toward our location. If our employees do not drive to the location, we look to have any supplemental ideas that we will gather while we're improving on our business toward full-time employees like dental healthcare. We'll also look to do that also.
Okay, so you might try to expand that, but you probably wouldn't be able to provide that at the start.
Yeah, probably not at the start. Yes.
Um, okay. That's all I have for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Smith?
Thanks, Jasmine. No, I don't. Thank you.
Commissioner Soto?
All right, thanks, Jasmine. A couple of questions. Have you, outside of the community meeting, have you spoken with the local elected officials in the area?
Yep, Caleb, do you want to speak to that? We received a letter of non-opposition from Councilor Pipon. Do you have any other discussions, Caleb?
Yeah, I know Mo talked to his local senator. They were looking to send in a letter of support to the board. Talking to other local officials. And we'll kind of follow up with the board about those letters and support that can be given after this meeting.
Okay, yeah, I think that would just be really helpful in order to kind of have a better sense of the initial feedback or impact from that the elected officials would foresee. And I think that's a
Yeah.
helpful sort of
Well,
marker for us.
So our community meetings, we had 2 community meetings with the Hyde Park Association. The first one, people were, for it and against it. So they decided to have another meeting after that. And then we've gotten a letter of non-opposition from them. And after one of the councilmen's personnel was in that meeting, and they got their feedback, and then they gave the letter of non-opposition also. So there was both, for it and against it in both the community meetings. And
Okay.
yes.
As far as any reflections of those who any like examples of reasons why folks were for or against?
Yeah, like I said, there was one person on our Boston community meeting that she had concerns about how many vehicles were going to be going through
Right.
Business Street,
Mhm.
and then clogging the traffic, how much of a traffic jam that would have made. But as we told her, we're only planning to have 2 vans at start. So we don't plan to give more traffic than is probably would any other business be given. And we're in a warehouse, so the people that own the warehouse could potentially put people in there that have box trucks, other larger vans. Our vans are going to be way smaller. They're going to be like the white Ford vans that you see on the truck on the streets. They're going to be way smaller than any other business that would come into the area and then probably clog the streets and create way more traffic. Other concerns, I guess there wasn't really other, niche concerns other than, some people were against cannabis and, but yeah.
Okay. And those who were in support, any specific reasons why they supported or?
Yeah, well, as I said, some people said, well, there's only one cannabis shop in Hyde Park right now that's open. I know there's other ones that are being proposed, but there's only one shop that's open. So more, products can be out there. People supported that. And that was kind of one of the main, only, supporting ideas that people had.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
I think
Go ahead.
I was going to add, I think they also support that this was a business with 2 people who were actually involved, who are going to be the owners, who are going to be participating in the day-to-day. I think that was seen as a positive.
Yeah, no, I definitely see that. And okay, and then I want to turn to the school question because I also am a resident in Hyde Park and actually live very close to the location. And so the school that's there is a very large school that's I don't think it's K to 12, but it might be 5 to 12. It is the Boston Renaissance School. The only thing that's happening there from the fellowship space is they have Sunday school for a few hours. So that being said, I don't necessarily, I understanding the neighborhood as I do, and especially with the bridge being closed, I drove by that school many times, and I don't necessarily see there being concern. And it's, and the fact that the Hyde Park Neighborhood Association didn't flag that as a concern, I think is also evidence of that. But I just want to make sure folks are fully understanding the community around them, right? And so that's a very, very large school that has made a big impact traffic being one of them. And I think it's something to be aware of, and I hope that in the supplemental materials following this meeting, you can help to fill in those gaps for the rest of the board who, don't may not be as aware of that school there.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I drive through there when during school getting out. I know there's a large traffic jam going across that bridge. A lot of the times. There's other routes going down Reservation Road, and that's actually the road that we're actually on, going toward, Milton, going toward the other side of Hyde Park. And then there's the street going, northbound toward Reservation Road at the traffic lights that we can go by. So there's other routes and then going toward the other side toward Dedham that we can go by during high traffic periods. And then especially us as a delivery operator, we don't want to be stuck in traffic. That cuts off our profit margin. So the good thing, when business and the community wants, meet together, because we don't want that also, we don't want to be stuck in traffic. So we definitely understand and we'll provide that toward the board as, thing to be resolved.
Great. Yeah, that would be great. And then question, so the part B to that question is, what is your, what is the delivery kind of like, what do you call it? Like the area perimeter that you would be considering as you get started with 2 drivers?
Yeah, I think, Hyde Park into Roslindale, into Dorchester, those type of areas. I know, certain areas that we might not be, according to, state regulations, we might not be able to go into, Dedham and Canton. But, kind of surrounding areas of Boston that we're focused on.
Okay. Oh, my God. All right. And then, okay, so we said deliveries. I had one more question. Hold on. One. Oh, have you had any contact with the other delivery licensee that would be, what is it, across the street or around the corner?
Well, according to the realtor that works with the owner of 100 Business Street, the Bean Collective, they were in our same location. He got contacted by them like a month or a month and a half ago or 2 months ago, asking if they can rent another space in 100 Business Street. And he said that he wouldn't do that because we're there now. So they told him that they're going to be going, finding another location that's not in 100 Business Street, according to him. And we'll send you the, emails and, documentation that he has confirmed that. So yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's helpful because I couldn't quite understand how that was going to work. Okay. I think that's all my questions. Thank you, Jasmine.
Yep, and just to add more color to that Bean Collective did not renew their host community agreement for the following year, so they're actually no longer active with us in our system. So they actually don't have we don't have 2 businesses in the same location anymore.
Thank you.
All right, any follow-up questions from the board members? No, we will move to public testimony, beginning with elected officials or their representatives.
That works. So
Good afternoon, Siggy Johnson with the Office of Neighborhood Services. This applicant has completed the community process. Our office hosted an abutters meeting on October 23rd of 2025, at which concerns were raised about traffic and parking. The abutter stated that the street is narrow and was concerned about incoming deliveries that might be on a larger vehicle blocking the street. The applicants have also met with the Hyde Park Neighborhood Association, and they're in non-opposition to this application. That background, our office defers further judgment to the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Siggy. Is there anyone else that would like to provide testimony? All right, seeing no one, the board will take this matter under advisement. Thank you. All right, those were all the matters before the board today. The board's voting meeting will take place next Wednesday, January 28th at 1 p.m. Again, the record will be kept open until Monday, January 26th at 5 p.m. You can send any additional correspondence to cannabisboard@boston.gov. Thank you all for attending today's hearing and enjoy the rest of your day.